BBC World Service, News Day. Let's go to Chad now, where the authorities and a senior opposition figure running for president are blaming each other for a deadly gun battle in the capital N'Djamena at the weekend. The government says 2 people were killed when security forces went to arrest opposition leader Yaya Dillo. According to Mr. Dillo, at least 5 were killed, including his mother and a child. In just over a week, the list of candidates for presidential elections in April are due to be published. Now, phone lines and the internet to Chad have been very patchy, and we had problems getting to our guest yesterday, but today we have managed to establish a line, so we can talk now to another opposition leader, Dr Succes Masra, who he joins us now. He heads, we should say, Les Transformateurs political party. Dr Masra, thank you for joining us. I'm glad to establish the line. First off, can you tell us, in your opinion and your understanding, what actually happened at Yaya Dillo's home compound?
What happened to Mr. Yaya Dillo can happen to any one of us. We are running for office, and this president, Mr. Déby, is organized the killing of the people of Chad using the guns supposed to be used against terrorism in the Sahel region. By the way, you know, the day before, they came and they killed his mom and son. Mr. Diallo, what did he do, actually? He just denounced through his Facebook Live the fact that there is an endemic corruption in this country organized by Mr. Déby and his wife.
Right, so hang on a minute. So you're saying, I just want to clarify this, you're saying that the what you say was an attack directly on the compound was prompted simply by observations about corruption that he had put on social media. That's why he was targeted.
Yes, absolutely. And this is what we are saying. We are saying the same thing. In this video, he was even referring to what I did, asking the people of Chad to use civil disobedience, against, bad laws, etc., etc. What I must say here is that this country is being run by the same leader, by the same poor leadership for almost 30 years now. Mr. Déby came in power in 1990. And, people can recall the fact that even the Economist or the Guardian consider Mr. Déby to be among the worst, dictators in the world.
Well, listen, what we're looking ahead to is we're looking ahead to elections as well, and all people involved, including yourself, are hoping that those elections take place. Now, what I have to say is, let's leave aside the fact of the past history. This gentleman who was targeted was actually part of the government as well. First he was a rebel, then he became part of the government, then he left as well. So is this not more likely to be the elite fighting amongst itself?
Oh, no. This is a national issue. This is about justice. This is about inclusion. This is about fair elections. And this is about change in the leadership in this country. And we, the people of Chad, we are marching and we are requesting this to happen. I must recall the fact that we are happy to see that the Secretary General of the United Nations, Mr. Guterres, is requesting the same thing we are requesting, a peaceful and a dialogue, an inclusive dialogue before we go to the election. Because the situation now in this country, we can't even go inside the country and organize our campaign. Internet is blocked, people are being killed, meetings are, forbidden by the ruling party. So how can we go to the elections in this kind of situation?
Right.
So
well, what is the alternative, Dr. Masra? Because you raise a very important point there. I mentioned we had problems getting through to you. In terms of organising a campaign and having presidential elections in April, are you saying, because you seem to be saying, there is no way that they can be fair elections under current circumstances?
There is no way they can be fair. So we are requesting an inclusive dialogue, like the United Nations Secretary said, and we expect other great leaders, in Europe, in USA, etc., to follow the same thing. Because even organizing peaceful march are forbidden. In 6th of February, we organized a peaceful march, and I was obliged to go to the US Embassy, actually, to be alive. Otherwise, they would even kill me. And it's thanks to the family of Mr. Diallo that we heard that the police leader was fired because he refused to shoot us. So this means that this is the kind of the democracy that we have. So
right.
What we are requesting today is that Mr. Déby should resign, because what he did is unacceptable. And the second, we should organize an inclusive dialogue so that by end of this year, we organize inclusive election, fair election, because after 31 years in power, it's time for him to resign, and other people can come on power.
The message comes loud and clear from you. I think it's highly unlikely that a president who's been in power since 1990 and has changed the constitution so he can change in power even longer is going to take your advice and step down. But I do want to ask about the influence of outside countries. Chad, of course, is a key ally of Western nations in the fight against the militancy that we see in West and Central Africa all the time and report on this programme regularly. Does that mean, do you think, that France, the US, the UK, former colonial powers, other countries have influence or actually don't have influence at all because they want Chad to remain in their camp?
Yes, this is very curious. The president of Chad said that he wanted to resign from his position, but France obliged him to change the constitution and to remain in power. He said this on national television and even international television. So ahead the summit of N'Djamena, the recent summit of N'Djamena, I wrote a letter in the name of our people to President Macron to ask him to respond to this, because this is very curious that a president of the country can say that France obliged him to remain in power. But the most important thing that I said in the name of our people is that our people now ask officially Mr. Déby to resign. The second thing I would like to add is that international community should not be afraid. We are trained in the same schools. We are responsible. And if we come in power, the fight against terrorists is not a fight of a regime. This is a fight of a civilization. And any one of us, which will come in power, will handle this issue. But a country like Chad, 15 million out of 16 million don't have access to electricity, to potable water, to internet, and modern medical infrastructure. Can we continue like this? So no one should be afraid. Tomorrow, without Déby, we are still going to fight terrorism. So no one should be afraid of this. This is my message also to the world today.
Loud and clear message. Thank you very much indeed. Coming out of Chad, that's one of the opposition leaders there, Dr Succes Masra. We were going to speak to Dr Masra yesterday.